Since there's so many new faces here on the channel, I figured I'd do something a little different, instead of a first impressions or continuing a game series. Today I'd like to share with you guys 10 different MMOs that I'm looking forward to. The games that make it on this list have released in 2016 for the West, or have a release window for 2016 or 2017. Some of the games have no window at all, but have been teased, so we could see them soon, even if it doesn't come to the West, but let's hope they do. Also, keep in mind that this list is based off my opinion, and if you take a look at my channel you can see that I favor Eastern MMOs a bit more than the Western ones. So coming in at number 10, we have Bless. Now Bless is a very nice looking game, has some unique features like the mountain pet system that allows you to tame nearly every monster in the game and turn them into a mount or companion. It also offers large-scale siege battles between factions and offers some difficult and amazing looking dungeons. It has some of the best character customization I've ever seen and allows you to play as different races, which is something I haven't seen much of lately. But the combat in Bless definitely needs to be fixed. And some of the trailers that make it look really good, but once you actually play the game you can see that the combat is extremely boring. If the combat remains the same, I don't think that this game will do so well in the West. It is being published by Area and we should see it sometime in 2017. For number 9, Twilight Spirits makes it onto this list. This is a game I've only recently seen gameplay of and the combat looks amazing. When I did a video on it, a lot of you said the combat reminds you of Devil May Cry or Bayonetta. The thing is, that's exactly what the developer took inspiration from. I grew up playing the Devil May Cry series and love the combat. The controls in this game are also said to be MOBA-like, to keep the combat from being too hard to master. This game will have PvP, arenas, battlegrounds, hundreds of quests, and a guild system. What still remains unknown is whether or not this game will be open world or have an instance world like Blade and Soul. Will there just be a main hub and you queue for quests, or can we expect some exploration? We also don't know if you will have to select a hero and follow their questline and backstory, or will you be able to customize your own character. From the gameplay it reminds me a lot of Vindictus. Not the graphics, but the fact that it seems like you are placed into these PvE instances. And if you have to play as a hero, then this game would be even more like Vindictus in the way that they limit you. So it's far down on my list, as I like what I see but a lot still remains unknown. It goes into beta on August 26th in China, and has a lot of overseas publishers interested, but there's no guarantee we'll see it in the West anytime soon. For number 8 we have Moonlight Blade, another Chinese MMORPG that went into open beta this year, using a composure system that allows you to block and find gaps to break through the enemy's defense. There are also other features you can use during combat that can take you into these 1v1 instances even if enemies are around. The game has amazing graphics and the character design is top notch. However, the character customization in this game is very limiting, and there isn't much fantasy in this game. It's more realistic, which isn't such a bad thing. Some people prefer that, but for me what interests me the most is Moonlight Blade's graphics, the unique day and night cycle and weather system, and the PvP that the game offers, especially with a combat system that takes skill and focus. For number 7 we have Black Desert, which released in early 2016 and has some of the best graphics I've ever seen in any game. The combat is amazing, from the animations and crazy combos you can do. It has a huge open world and the best character customization I've ever seen. However, the company backing this game has done some pretty questionable things and lost the trust of many players. The game also has no real PvE, so if you're into PvP, especially group fights, or if you like a game that requires a ton of grind, and I mean a ton, this game is for you. For number 6 we have Dark and Light, which will be going into early access or beta later this year in 2016 if you're watching this in 2017. And unlike a lot of MMOs that we've seen recently, this game will have a view and controls much like a first-person shooter. With the huge open world and beautiful graphics made on the Unreal Engine 4, this game will probably be one of the most immersive MMORPGs. Your class will be decided based on how you develop your traits and spec your character. There will be 3 different factions to choose from: flying mounts and base building. I get a Ark survival vibe from this game, but all I've seen is trailers. Gameplay could release soon and it could be extremely different, but only time will tell. Next at number 5 is Lost Ark. Lost Ark is a top-down isometric dungeon crawler like MMORPG that recently went into beta for Korea. Next is going to be beta for China, and hopefully we will see a Western release sometime in 2017, as they have plans of reaching out to overseas markets. There is still a lot that is unknown about this game, but the combat looks crazy, super action-packed, fighting hordes of demons and spilling their guts all over the map. Unfortunately, I wasn't one of the lucky people who got access to its first closed beta, but from watching live streams I like what I see. The graphics seem to have downgraded, but they say that might just be for the first closed beta. You can take different paths with your class to gain a new playstyle and abilities, like the warrior that can turn into the lancer or berserker. This game has been hyped up for years and we are finally seeing a beta. But years of hype isn't always a good thing, as sometimes it sets super high expectations that aren't met upon release and do more harm for the game overall than good. But still, I'm looking forward to it. For number 4 we have Lineage Eternal. This game is a lot like Lost Ark. It should be going into beta later this year and will probably have to release soon if it wants to compete with Lost Ark. What's cool about Lineage is that you can use certain parts of the environment to kill enemies or combo with your attacks. It will also have open world raid bosses and dynamic events much like Guild Wars 2. There's a lot more we don't know about this game than Lost Ark, but the combat and controls of this game seems a bit more unique. You're able to move and use the environment around you and use certain mouse gestures for attacks. It's hard to choose between Lost Ark and Lineage, so don't take the order of these two games on my list too serious, as one could replace the other once we have more info. At number 3 we have Crowfall. Crowfall has been in development for a while now and has had a ton of backing and support. The developers are pretty cool as they share their progression with the game and keep us updated with new features that are being added. The world of Crowfall is continuously changing and dies after some time. When playing Crowfall, you join a faction to fight over territories. The way that Crowfall works is that you kind of jump into the end game right away, instead of having to grind for days and months to reach the fun content. I also really enjoy the cel-shaded like graphics the game has. The combat looks okay, but what makes it even better is that it gives the player complete freedom with no targeting and full-on action combat. When you join the world of Crowfall, you follow a campaign, and like I said, the world around you dies. And then you join a new world and start a new campaign, so things are forever changing, and it seems like this game will always remain interesting if they get this feature right. The world is also completely destructive, so you can build siege weapons to destroy enemy bases. It will have a player-driven economy, even the towns will be owned by players. It seems like the players control this game, and that's what I really like. But again, hyping a game for so long can definitely hurt it in the long run. Hopefully we see this game soon. At number 2 we have Peria Chronicles, previously known as Project NT. I don't know if this game is even in development anymore, as it has went silent for quite some time, but we can only hope that it is. It's a sandbox MMORPG that allows players to create their own landscapes, towns, and buildings. A player can even create quests that other players can complete for gold. If they fail, the creator will get rewarded. You can collect and fight with monsters in this game as well, and the anime-like cel-shaded graphics definitely get my attention as I like this kind of art style. The towns will actually scale with the amount of players, so the more players the bigger the town and buildings, the less players the smaller the town. If they become ghost towns, they will disappear from the map. It also has a unique combat system that's sort of hack and slash mixed with Pokemon. You can collect and purchase these monsters and use cards during battle to summon them. You can also combine monsters to make more powerful ones. These creatures do require care, so you'll have to actually feed them to keep them alive. Like Crowfall, the majority of this game seems to be controlled by the players. But the question is, how will they balance out player-made quests without players being able to abuse it and certain other features of the game? Again, we haven't heard anything about this game lately, and it is possible it could no longer be in the works. But it would be nice to see this in the future, as this game has some features that we've never seen in any MMORPG before. Coming in at number 1 is Revelation Online. Now this game is going into beta very soon, this fall, and releasing in Q1 of 2017. The reason why this is the number 1 for me is because it has an open world, a unique style of graphics, and a beautiful atmosphere. You can fly with pretty much no height limit and explore the massive open world. It caters to PvEers with tons of dungeons and raids that you can run on several different difficulties, and offers a ton for PvPers, with battlegrounds, open world fighting, sieges, arenas, and different modes for each. It also has life skills, tons of roleplay functions, even though I'm not really a fan of that, and a housing system. The game offers so much it caters to pretty much every type of MMO gamer, has a ton of cool cosmetics, classes with multiple playstyles, and gives you full control of building your character. It has unique combat with the ability to shape your skills and add certain effects. It also has legendary abilities that you can customize on the go. Overall, Revelation Online is a game I'm looking forward to the most, and they plan to push out content for at least 10 years. Will this be the next MMO that can actually keep me around for years to come? Hopefully. Now there are some games that look interesting but just didn't make it on this list, like Chronicles of Lyria, Camelot Unchained, and a few others simply because they look a bit outdated or just weren't interesting enough to me. This is my list as of August 2016, and in the future I'll make a more updated one when some new MMORPGs are announced and we get more information on the ones I listed in this video. If there are some MMORPGs you guys are looking forward to, let me know in the comment section and I'll join you guys down there for a bit of discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you soon, friends.